Good morning, guys. It's been a pretty nice week this week, hasn't it? It hasn't been super hot, but it's still hot enough to play in the water, and that's always a fun way to play outside. It's also not so hot that you can't run around or ride your bikes, so this is prime summer weather, and I hope you're enjoying it. I haven't been able to enjoy it much myself these last couple weeks. I've been stuck inside doing school stuff a lot, so my brain is pretty tired. But I'm going to get to play with Conan outside a lot this week to make up for it. I don't have as much school stuff to do, so everything's going to be okay. Don't worry. Now, have you guys read any good books or done some cool art this summer? I'd love to see it as soon as we can start going back to the classroom at the church, which may be a long time from now. I'm not sure. I just know that I'm ready to get out of this dang house. Now, let's do our opening together. Now, repeat after me if you'd like, or just do the hand symbols with me. We are Unitarian Universalists. We are the Church of the open mind, the loving heart, and the helping hands. Together we care for our earth and work for friendship and peace in our world. Let's begin. Now, these last few months, I've been giving you lessons on how we can grow and become better people, how we can live by our UU principles, and how we can make sure that we are fair and kind people in our lives. This week, I want to go over the 7 UU principles, which are the things that members of the UU Church try to do every day to make sure that we're doing the best we can to make the world a wonderful place for the people around us and that we're taking care of the earth. It's our home. We got to take care of it. I know that I kind of went over them on like our first or second lesson, and I've talked about some of the principles in other lessons, but it's been a long time since we talked about all of them. Also, I didn't really talk about them very much when I talked about them the first time, and I'm hoping that you guys can understand and appreciate the principles better now that we've had a few months of lessons on them. Now, we'll cover some of them this week, and we'll cover the rest of them next week. There's a lot to cover with them, and I don't want this to be a super long video. So I decided that I would break this into 2 videos. I hope you don't mind too much, but I'll try to make it worth it. So, the first principle is the inherent worth and dignity of every person. Now, what this means is that every person on the earth deserves respect and to be treated fairly and kindly. There is a lot of pain in the world because people aren't being given respect or kindness, and people aren't fair to them. You know how bad it can feel when people are mean or unfair to you. It really stinks. When you're mean or unfair to another person, it makes them feel bad, and you need to remember that. We should always try to make the people around us feel good about themselves. Make them feel like they matter and that you care about them. If we try every day to act this way to other people, we will help make the world a happier place. And it can also make other people want to act that way too. Just think about it. When someone's mean to you, it can put you into a bad mood, right? And when you're in a bad mood, you can end up being mean to other people. If we act kindly and respectfully to other people, it puts them in a better mood and it'll help them be kind to the rest of the people that they talk to. So just keep that in mind. Treat people the way that you want them to treat you. The second principle is justice, equity, and compassion in human relations. Equity kind of is the same thing as equality. This principle is telling us that, kind of like the first principle, we need to be fair to everyone around us, that we need to treat people equally, and that we need to listen to other people's feelings and be sweet about it. When we treat people equally, it means that no matter what they look like or what they believe, we need to treat them the same as everyone else, with love and kindness. Compassion is a word that you might not be familiar with, but when you're feeling sad and your mom or your daddy comes and you tell them why you're feeling sad and they listen to you, hug you, they say that they're sorry you're feeling sad and they hold you tight to help you feel better, that's being compassionate. It means that we show respect for other people's feelings and that we want to try and help them feel better if they're feeling bad. And we can learn a lot about other people's feelings if we just listen to what they have to say. And I mean really listen. We shut our mouths, we open our ears, and we open our hearts, and we really listen to what that person is telling us. And only by listening can we really understand what somebody else's pain is, and only then can we try to help them with that pain. The third principle is acceptance of one another and encouragement to spiritual growth in our congregation. Now, have you met someone who believes a different religion or different religious things than you? Well, maybe they're a Christian and you're not. Or maybe they're Muslim and you're a Christian, or all kinds of things. This principle means that it doesn't matter if someone believes different things than you. Everyone is trying to find something that makes them feel good, something that makes them feel like they really belong in the world. And there are a bunch of different ways that people take to find that. Some people go for religion, some people go for spirituality, and other people, maybe they think that aliens created the humans. And they're all just fine. When someone is trying to find the path that makes sense to them, the path that makes them feel whole and helps the world make sense to them, we need to show them respect and cheer them on as they find their path. Not everyone is going to believe the same thing, and that's okay. The fourth principle is a free and responsible search for truth and meaning, which is kind of like the third principle, but a little bit different too. This means that we should all be able to find our own path that helps the world make sense to us without someone else trying to tell us what we should believe or making us feel bad or dumb for believing something. If someone believes something that makes sense to them and it's not hurting them or anyone else, we shouldn't say bad things about it. Everyone is allowed to search for their own truth, the thing that helps the world make sense, and it's disrespectful and unkind to tell them that their search isn't very good. So that's the first four principles. We'll take a look at the last three principles next week, and we'll kind of do a little summary and talk a little more about why it's so important to follow these principles in our lives. So, until next week, stay safe, stay healthy, don't get your finger anywhere near your nose, and I'll talk to you soon. Later.